The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the quiet town. Akira and Yuki found themselves seated on a weathered bench outside their school. The air was filled with the scent of blooming cherry blossoms, but there was an unmistakable chill in the atmosphere, a perfect setting for tales of urban legend. Akira leaned closer to Yuki, his eyes sparkling with excitement. He had always been fascinated by stories that sent shivers down his spine. Today, he felt compelled to share one that had captured his imagination recently. With a conspiratorial tone, he began unveiling the legend of Kuchisake Onna. Yuki listened intently as Akira painted vivid images in her mind, a woman draped in mystery and horror, her face hidden beneath a surgical mask. He could almost feel the weight of fear settling upon her shoulders, as Akira described how this ghostly figure roamed desolate streets at night, unsuspecting victims to ask them a single question. "I beautiful?" But it wasn't just the tale itself that set Yuki's heart racing. It was what came next, the fate of those who answered incorrectly. Kira's words rang like eerie echoes in her ears, as he recounted how Kuchisake Onna would reveal her disfigured face and unleash unspeakable violence upon those who dared to insult her beauty. As he spoke, Yuki's brow furrowed with concern. He couldn't shake off the sense of dread creeping into her thoughts. Her voice trembled slightly when she finally managed to respond to Akira's enthusiasm, cautioning him about delving too deeply into such dangerous stories. They were not mere tales meant for entertainment. They held whispers of truth laced with darkness. Despite Yuki's worries, Akira remained undeterred by superstition. His adventurous spirit thrived on unraveling mysteries and debunking myths that haunted their town. He suggested they investigate further, perhaps even visit locations rumored to be connected to Kuchisake Onna herself. With a heavy sigh and a reluctant smile breaking through her apprehension, Yuki agreed to join him on this escapade into the unknown. There was something thrilling about exploring the very fabric of folklore woven into their surroundings, even if it made her heart race with fear. Together, they ventured deeper into conversations surrounding urban legends as they left school grounds behind them. Stories shared between friends, the chilling accounts interspersed with laughter. They began weaving an invisible thread, connecting them both through curiosity and concern. Twilight descended upon them like an embrace from an old friend, long forgotten. Know that lurking within their discussions was an ominous presence waiting patiently for its moment to emerge from shadows cast by flickering street lamps. In those moments spent together discussing Kuchisake Onna and other local legends, a unique blend of excitement and trepidation emerged, but nothing could prepare them for what lay ahead on their journey into danger hidden beneath ordinary life, as the moon hung high in the night sky, casting a silvery glow over the deserted streets. Akira felt an exhilarating thrill coursing through his veins. A soft rustle of leaves whispered secrets as he and Yuki walked side by side, their footsteps echoing softly against the pavement. Yuki's heart raced with both excitement and trepidation. He glanced at Akira, who wore a mischievous smile that suggested he was reveling in the adventure they had embarked upon. They were on a quest to uncover more about Kuchisake Onna, a ghostly figure that haunted their town's folklore. Each story she had heard made her shiver, but there was something magnetic about Akira's enthusiasm. It pulled her along, even as her instincts screamed caution. They soon approached an old shrine nestled between overgrown bushes and crumbling stones. It appeared forgotten by time, yet held a strange allure under the moonlight. Legends spoke of this place being linked to Kuchisake Onna, the site where she once roamed in search of beauty and vengeance. Akira stepped forward with confidence, pushing aside branches that obscured the entrance. "This is it," he said softly, glancing back at Yuki with eyes gleaming like stars. Yuki hesitated for a moment before following him into the shrine's eerie embrace. Shadows danced on the walls as they ventured deeper inside, their whispers mingling with the cool night air. Unsettling feeling washed over her. Every creak of wood echoed ominously around them. They heard footsteps approaching from behind them. Hiroshi emerged from the darkness with a smirk plastered across his face. He raised an eyebrow at their surroundings and scoffed dismissively at their apparent fear. "Are you too seriously scared? This is just another silly legend." Hiroshi said mockingly while stepping closer to investigate for himself. Akira chuckled nervously, but felt reassured by Hiroshi's bravado while Yuki remained tense beside him. Together they shared stories about what they had heard, the tales of how Kuchisake Onna would appear when least expected, asking unsuspecting victims if they thought she was beautiful. Explore some more, Akira suggested impulsively, his adventurous spirit unwavering despite Yuki's anxious fidgeting next to him. They meandered out of the shrine and back onto darkened streets, lit only by flickering streetlights. Laughter erupted among them, though not entirely convinced that all dangers were behind them. And suddenly, out of nowhere stood a woman clad in white clothing, a surgical mask covering half of her face overshadowed by long black hair that cascaded down like shadows spilling from darkness itself. He fixed her gaze upon them and asked softly if they thought she was beautiful. Time seemed to freeze as silence enveloped them like heavy fog rolling in from distant shores. Akira's heart pounded in his chest while Hiroshi exchanged bemused glances with him, before sneering dismissively at this apparition. Cloaked in mystery, a moment heavy with unspoken terror gripped Yuki's throat tightly as uncertainty clouded. Her mind would change everything for each one of them. Choices would be made leading down paths from which none could escape unchanged. The night deepened. Akira, Yuki, and Hiroshi found themselves wandering through the deserted streets of their town. A moonlight cast a silvery glow upon the pavement, illuminating their path while shadows danced along the walls of nearby buildings. They set out to seek answers and confront the lingering fear that had taken root in their hearts since they first heard of Kuchisake Onna. Akira led the way with a mixture of bravado and excitement, his pulse quickening at each step deeper into the unknown. His mind raced with thoughts of what he might discover. Perhaps he would unlock secrets that would lay the legend to rest or prove it all to be mere myth. Beside him, Yuki walked cautiously, her heart pounding in rhythm with her footsteps. Each creak of a branch above them made her shiver, reminding her of the stories she had grown up hearing, the tales warning against wandering too far from safety. Hiroshi lagged behind slightly, scoffing at their fears. He often spoke dismissively about urban legends, insisting that reality was far more mundane than people believed. Felt a tinge of unease as they moved closer to an old shrine, said to be linked to Kuchisake Onna, a place where whispers echoed tales of sorrow and beauty intertwined. On reaching the shrine, they paused before its weathered stones adorned with offerings left by those who sought protection or healing from restless spirits. The air felt heavy around them. It seemed as though time itself held its breath in anticipation. With a gulp of courage, Akira stepped forward and placed his hand on one of the ancient pillars. He imagined all those who had come before him, each person seeking answers in a world steeped in mystery. If sensing his determination, Yuki joined him at his side but kept her gaze fixed on Hiroshi as he wandered off further into the shadows. "Are you sure this is wise?" she whispered softly, hoping her words could anchor Akira's wild enthusiasm. Before he could respond, Hiroshi called out from beyond some trees. His tone echoed disbelief rather than fear as he teased them about getting spooked by ghost stories. That an inexplicable chill swept through the area, a momentary gust that sent leaves swirling like spirits caught in a whirlwind. Suddenly, if summoned by their presence and curiosity combined with skepticism, he appeared. Kuchisake Onna stood before them, cloaked beneath darkness, yet unmistakably hauntingly beautiful despite her surgical mask concealing half her face. There was an ethereal quality about her figure illuminated by silver rays, breaking through branches overhead. Kira's breath caught in his throat. There was no denying it now. She was real. Adrenaline surged within him as fascination warred with dread. Part of him wanted to flee while another yearned for confrontation to test whether they could unravel this curse together or fall victim like countless others before them. Hesitation, and not entirely aware of what compelled him, Akira took a brave step forward toward Kuchisake Onna and uttered words laden with confidence. "You are beautiful." His voice trembled slightly but held firm as if challenging fate itself. Yuki's heart sank further into trepidation while Hiroshi stood frozen behind them. Disbelief washed over him like cold water splashing across exposed skin. Then came silence, a pregnant pause filled only by distant rustling leaves, till finally punctured by Kuchisake Onna's chilling response, urging them onward through choices made that evening, where horror met humanity tangled amidst Twilight's embrace. As dawn broke, a first rays of sunlight penetrated through Akira's window, illuminating the remnants of a restless night. His mind was a whirlwind of images from his encounter with Kuchisake Onna. A haunting gaze of the woman in white lingered like an echo, and he felt as if her presence was woven into the very fabric of his thoughts. Each moment spent awake became a trial. Shadows flickered in the corners of his vision, and whispers danced on the edges of silence. A line between reality and nightmare blurred as he replayed the moment when she had asked him about beauty. That fleeting instant felt like an eternity, cementing itself within his memory. He sat up slowly, feeling the weight of dread pressing down upon him like an unwelcome guest. The image of her disfigured face flashed before him, lips that had been cruelly sliced open, eyes filled with sorrowful rage, and he shuddered at how close he had come to losing everything simply by uttering a word meant to placate her. Downstairs, Yuki paced restlessly, worry etched deep into her brow as she awaited Akira's arrival for their planned meeting. He slept either, plagued by fears that echoed Akira's own. The tragedy behind Kuchisake Onna was too real to ignore now that they had crossed paths with her. Their meeting place was a local cafe with warm lights and comforting aromas, a sanctuary from the horrors lurking outside its walls. Here, dread clung to them like mist refusing to lift. Akira finally arrived. Yuki looked up with wide eyes filled with concern. He could see it mirrored back at him. Her features were drawn tight as if bracing against an unseen force. They exchanged silent greetings before settling into their seats. Yuki spoke first. Her voice trembled slightly as she confessed how haunted she felt since their encounter. She couldn't shake off visions of Kuchisake Onna appearing around every corner or out from behind every shadow. Her heart raced each time she caught sight of someone wearing a mask in public places. Akira listened intently, but felt compelled to reassure her they needed answers to confront this lingering fear head-on rather than let it dictate their lives. Together they recalled what old man Takeda had said about facing their demons instead of running away. A thought triggered something within them, both a spark igniting courage amid paralyzing terror. With determination in their hearts, they decided it was time for one last confrontation, not through violence or denial, but by embracing understanding and acceptance. Later that day, under a sky tinged with orange hues leading towards twilight once more, Akira and Yuki made their way back toward the shrine where everything had begun, their sacred battleground against fear itself. With each step forward towards that dilapidated structure cloaked in vines and memories long past came feelings swirling within. Anticipation mixed with anxiety, but above all else grew realization that beauty lies not only in physical appearances, but also emerges from emotional depths carved by experiences lived through, pain alongside joy shared among friends. Darkness descended slowly around them like velvet fabric, draping across forgotten realms lost amidst folklore tales. Akira paused outside where white stones lay scattered beneath gnarled trees lining pathways worn thin over years gone. "Are we ready?" Yuki whispered uncertainly beside him, yet looking resolute despite lingering doubt clouding clear blue skies overhead. "Yes," he replied softly but firmly. Something shifted within himself, then a deeper understanding birthed through trials endured together shaped who they were becoming. Courageous souls willing to seek truth wrapped tightly in shadows cast long ago. They crossed over thresholds leading inside once more towards heartbeats echoing louder than footsteps tapping softly along cracked tiles. Beniath footnote. Longer just two curious friends chasing myths, but warriors embarking on journeys uncharted, filled, wholeheartedly embracing what waited beyond veils, hiding realities forged throughout lifetime, spent battling darkness manifested through legends evolving endlessly. And there stood Kuchisake Onna waiting patiently, poised elegantly yet radiating unresolved sorrow, entwined beautifully alongside vengeance brewing steadily underneath skin marked by pain. Would they be brave enough this time? Would compassion blossom amidst horror, drawing forth light, shining brightly, guiding paths illuminated toward hope, waiting patiently beyond anguish held fast? What lay ahead remained uncertain, a dance between despair and resilience, weaving tales anew while echoes whispered promises left unspoken, lingering sweetly upon air. thickened, heavily burdened, laden, deeply steeped traditions forged across centuries gone, as the eerie stillness enveloped them. A tension became palpable. Akira stood before Kuchisake Onna, his heart racing in his chest. He had declared her beauty, unwittingly setting in motion a series of events that would forever alter their lives. A moonlight illuminated her figure, creating an almost otherworldly glow around her. That moment of frozen time, Yuki's mind raced with worry and dread. He could feel the air grow colder, as if the very essence of fear seeped into their surroundings. Hiroshi's bravado was stripped away, replaced by disbelief and a creeping realization that they were far from safe. Kuchisake Onna tilted her head slightly, obscured features shifting behind the surgical mask. There was an unsettling elegance to her movements. It was both beautiful and terrifying. Finally, she broke the silence with a voice that echoed like a distant whisper carried by the wind. Her question lingered heavily in the air. Am I truly beautiful? Akira felt a rush of confidence coursing through him, yet doubt began to gnaw at his resolve. He met her gaze, dark eyes glimmering beneath strands of black hair. The warmth of his earlier bravery faded into uncertainty. He had invited this encounter. Now it loomed over him like a dark cloud heavy with rain. Yuki hesitated nearby, caught between fear and desperation to protect her friend from this unfolding nightmare. A story she had heard echoed in her mind. Those who dared to answer incorrectly faced unspeakable fates at the hands of Kuchisake Onna. Hiroshi finally found his voice amidst the swirling unease around them, a mocking tone reflecting his skepticism from before returning with force against reality itself. He scoffed dismissively at Akira's response while attempting to maintain composure, despite trembling hands betraying his facade of indifference. I mean, he said slowly as if carefully weighing each word for impact. Who are you kidding? A pretty face doesn't make someone beautiful. His challenge hung dangerously in the air, a dare wrapped in contempt for tales spun from folklore. Atmosphere shifted instantly. Something dark crackled beneath Kuchisake Onna's serene exterior as if she drew strength from their reactions, both admiration and disdain alike filling invisible vessels within her soul. Then it happened without warning or prelude. Her mask slipped downwards, revealing what lay beneath. Grotesque mouth slashed wide open across pale skin, jagged edges contrasting starkly against delicate features marred by horror itself. Horror coiled deep within Akira's gut while Yuki gasped softly behind him, a breath caught somewhere between fascination and terror. Do you think now? Kuchisake Onna hissed venomously through clenched teeth stained crimson. It filled every corner around them like poison seeping into earth long untouched by sunlight or kindness. And Akira's instinct screamed for him to run, yet something else held him rooted, where he stood, a mixture of morbid curiosity mingling with guilt at having provoked such wrath upon himself and those dear to him. And then came Hiroshi's cry, a futile attempt at bravado turning into sheer panic as he stumbled backward in retreat, but it only drove Kuchisake Onna further toward rage fueled by humiliation. N. In one swift movement filled with graceful horror reminiscent of predatory elegance. He lunged forward toward Hiroshi, who collided against cold stone walls, searching desperately for escape, the embodiment of terror personified following closely behind. And Akira turned instinctively towards Yuki. Concern etched across their faces reflected fear swirling inside them both. It wasn't just about confronting legends anymore, it was about survival amidst nightmares realized. And run. He urged urgently as adrenaline surged within him like wildfire, igniting passions previously dormant, their friendship forged under shared laughter now threatening dissolution amid madness lurking just beyond reach. N. But even as they fled into nightmarish darkness together side by side, seeking safety among shadows cast wider than life itself, they couldn't shake off lingering feelings left behind, unspoken words hovering thick overhead, waiting patiently until dawn arrived. N with echoes trailing behind them, resonating through empty streets, once familiar, now twisted, grotesque reminders, haunting every corner, lost inside labyrinthine confusion. They ran deeper still toward unknown paths, forged anew, facing horrors beyond comprehension, inviting exploration, yet fraught danger awaited eagerly near horizons unseen. The haunting night progressed. Akira and Yuki stood at the threshold of the old shrine, their hearts beating in tandem with the anticipation that hung thick in the air. Memories of their previous encounter with Kuchisake Onna clung to them like shadows, each moment replaying vividly in their minds. Confront a legend that had woven itself into the very fabric of their lives. Yet this time they weren't here out of fear. They were driven by a deep desire for understanding. A moonlight filtered through the gnarled branches surrounding them, casting intricate patterns upon the ground as if nature herself conspired to create an otherworldly stage. Yuki took a deep breath, steadied by Akira's presence beside her. There was comfort in knowing they were not alone. They were bound by shared experiences and fears that would ultimately lead them toward resolution. "Let's not approach her with hostility," Akira said softly, his voice carrying a weight of conviction that reverberated within Yuki's heart. "To show her compassion." Yuki nodded slowly, though uncertainty flickered across her features. Together, they stepped into the shrine's embrace. Once more the air inside felt charged with energy, as if it recognized their return. Atmosphere shifted palpably around them. Echoes from long-forgotten prayers whispered faintly against crumbling walls. And there she stood, Kuchisake Onna, frozen in time before them, draped in ethereal white fabric as shadows danced across her figure. Her long black hair framed her face, obscured partially by a surgical mask that seemed almost too familiar now after having seen it once before under terrifying circumstances. With steady breaths, Akira mustered courage to take a step forward while holding his hands up slightly as if offering peace rather than provocation. "Here to judge you," he began gently, feeling Yuki's presence beside him as she silently urged him on. Kuchisake Onna regarded him with eyes filled with sorrowful longing. It was a gaze deeper than mere anger or vengeance. It spoke volumes about loss and beauty, intertwined through pain. A silence stretched between them like a fragile thread awaiting tension. Yuki took this moment to speak, a soft tremor coating her words as they escaped her lips. "You deserve to be heard." Liberated, articulating this truth, perhaps acknowledging Kuchisake Onna's story could bridge the chasm between fear and understanding. Slowly lowering her hands away from her mask, revealing lips grotesquely slashed open wide enough for horrific tales, but laced also with unspoken grace, she showed neither malice nor cruelty, but instead wore an expression steeped in anguish, mingling delicately alongside raw vulnerability. // and Akira swallowed hard against growing unease etched deep within him. The image burned into memory, still held terror, yet stirred empathy too. "What happened to you?" he asked softly, curiosity tinged with care directed toward unraveling layers hidden beneath horror wrapped tightly around legend. // and a painful sigh escaped Kuchisake Onna's lips, a sound echoing centuries worth of grief born from betrayal and societal expectations, dictated by fleeting standards of beauty. // in this exchange lay revelations untold. Been revered for physical allure, until jealousy twisted love into violence that marred both flesh and spirit, like a tragic reminder, haunting all who crossed paths beyond nights filled with darkness where whispers spun webs. Tangling truth amidst fables forged through folklore long ago forgotten. // I became what I feared most. He confessed quietly, pain resonating through every syllable as memories cascaded forth like shattered glass reflecting moments lost forevermore. // and understanding blossomed between Akira and Yuki, then a profound realization that beauty itself transcended outward appearances, shaped by fate, and circumstance pressed harshly upon fragile hearts willing only ever seeking solace beneath. Asks worn too often, be they literal or metaphorical. // in unison, now together reaching towards healing, they offered words laden not only sympathy, but also acceptance born from true connection extending far beyond fleeting judgments cast. Sighed underneath starlit skies, illuminating souls bound together amid uncertainty rising anew, while embracing contradictions woven intricately throughout life itself. // and they witnessed reflections dancing upon one another. Atoms merging seamlessly, revealing essence stripped bare, exposing humanity above all else, waiting patiently, yearning, finally finding release, entwined beautifully, forevermore shielded side by side, united against darkness lurking just on sight. The days passed, Kira found himself trapped within a realm of nightmares, where the figure of Kuchisake Onna haunted his every thought. He would wake in a cold sweat, gasping for air as visions of her mutilated face flashed before him, the slashed lips stretched wide in a grotesque smile that seemed to mock his very existence. A soft glow of dawn now felt like an unwelcome intruder, illuminating the shadows he longed to escape. Each moment spent awake was filled with unease. Shadows danced along walls and whispers echoed through silence, taunting him with reminders of their fateful encounter. He could almost hear her voice, a chilling reminder that beauty and horror were forever intertwined in this relentless nightmare. A line between reality and illusion blurred, leaving him questioning his own perception. Meanwhile, Yuki struggled to shake off the lingering fear that gripped her heart. Each time she stepped out into the world, she felt the weight of eyes upon her, muffled breaths behind masks causing dread to settle deep within her bones. He avoided crowded places and masked faces alike, fearing another confrontation with the specter who had disrupted their lives. They met frequently at their favorite cafe, the warm and inviting, now served only as a temporary refuge from the shadows lurking outside its comforting walls. Over cups of steaming tea and pastries laid bare by absence of laughter, once shared freely among friends, an awkward silence hung heavy in the air between them whenever they gathered. Yuki looked at Akira one afternoon. Concern etched deeply across her features mirrored the turmoil within him. Her voice trembled slightly as she broke through their shared silence. He spoke softly about how unsettling dreams had plagued her too since they faced Kuchisake Onna, tormenting echoes chasing every waking thought. Kira listened intently, but sensed urgency swelling inside him, a need to confront this entity once more, before terror tightened its grip further around them both. They needed answers. They needed closure, not just for themselves, but also for those who suffered under folklore's twisted roots binding them together through fear unspoken yet ever-present. With newfound determination igniting embers buried beneath layers of anxiety accumulated over time, they resolved to seek Old Man Takeda's wisdom. Once again, perhaps he held remnants of knowledge lost amidst tales spun from sorrowful histories interwoven throughout generations gone by. That evening twilight painted skies orange as they retraced familiar pathways toward Takeda's home, nestled on an unassuming street corner devoid signs heralding what awaited beyond dusty. Oars bathed gently under fading daylight, glowing softly against weathered wood tones worn down by age. Upon arrival at Takeda's doorsteps, brimming with uncertainty mingling alongside hope, hanging delicately like spider silk caught in In's embrace, they knocked softly yet firmly, each echo vibrating against aged timbers, resonating whispers throughout quiet neighborhood, awakened only by rhythmic pulse thrumming steadily against restless hearts longing release from. Carried far too long. After what felt like an eternity waiting to their relief, the door opened, revealing Old Man Takeda standing there with knowing eyes reflecting wisdom amassed over lifetimes lived beneath burdened skies laden. Heavy cast, thickly woven darkness shaped by legends imperfectly told, welcomed them inside without words, needing no introduction, because he had sensed their presence even before knocking shook loose fragile memories lingering still. Amongst walls closing ranks around stories hidden away, patiently waiting, until seekers arrived ready embrace truths veiled behind curtains drawn tight, shielding light, filtered through dusty panes, softening edges, holding tightly guarded. Begging revelation into open arms, sheltered against cold night air, embracing warmth, emanating promise forged anew. In moments spent unraveling tales etched deeply within lines marked upon skin, fraying edges, reverberating life lived. Woolly but burdened, always yearning understanding, carved carefully over decades, witness time itself crawl forward, slowly spiraling endlessly, while navigating intricacies, shaping paths chosen boldly, yet often fraught near perilous outcomes. Railing closely behind footsteps, echoing softly through corridors darkened, forgotten realm, leading nowhere fast, seeking respite, granting solace, ultimately surrendering hope along twisting roads, meandering back towards beginnings rich. Legend destined, intertwined, inexorably bound, until resolved, finally casting fears aside, shed shackles, forged heavy chains weighing down souls, longing simply break free, unfurl wings, reclaim essence, lost searching deep, find joy amid chaos rather than dwell, sorrow, sadness enveloping far too many years, fading slowly into obscurity, left awaiting rescue from demons banished, briefly, perhaps never truly silenced, whisper sweet lullabies calling forth strength emerge. victorious paving way tomorrow brighter days, seeking shine, brightly guiding one last embrace farewell. Goodbye linger long after dusk settled upon weary spirits, finding comfort cradled inside gentle arms, holding firm, close, reminding all. Being cherished despite hardships, endured countless sleepless nights, rolling waves, crashing tender shores, erasing footprint, left behind drifting far away, quietly seeking stillness, peace, rest difficult, secure, nestled, cozily tucked. Braced among stars, shining down, inspiring trust, rekindling flames, flickering overhead, spark igniting dreams, once more unfolding, timidly guided toward vast horizons, expanding, infinitely reaching beyond sight, bringing forth glimmers. Light illuminating paths unseen, uncover magical wonders, await around next bend, beckoning courage, pull closer, pulling nearer, resolve, urging forward, determined quest, undertaken, pursuing unveiled mysteries, lingering just beyond grasp, teasing. Tantalizing heart, hoping eventually meet gaze, radiant wonder, radiate warmth, enveloping entire being, soul transcending boundaries known, dissolving limits, set forth, reigniting passion, fervently alive, ignited flame, burning bright, vivid colors. Painting canvases blank, transforming mundane into extraordinary stories. Cherished, remembered, lovingly told, weaving tapestries, life unfinished, destined, greater things await, unfolding brilliantly, yet slowly opening new chapters written. Really unburdened, vibrant, flourishing, blossoming, a new drawing breath, savor, poignant moment, shared adrift afloat beneath starlit skies, resplendent dreamscape, shimmering, inviting everyone, imagined possibility, resting comfort found nestled. Nug surrounded, love, kindness, offering safe harbor, homecoming realized. As the twilight deepened, Akira and Yuki found themselves standing before Old Man Takeda's modest home. The air was thick with anticipation. They were on the brink of confronting their fears surrounding Kuchisake Onna. Each step felt heavy with the weight of unresolved questions that had haunted them since their fateful encounter. Old Man Takeda welcomed them inside, his eyes reflecting a lifetime of wisdom steeped in local lore. A dim light from an oil lamp flickered gently, casting soft shadows against the wooden walls adorned with trinkets that whispered stories of times long past. They settled on tatami mats. Akira wasted no time in expressing his urgency. He spoke about their harrowing experience and how it had shaken him to his core. Kuchisake Onna's disfigured face lingered like a ghost at the edge of his consciousness, and he sought understanding to make sense of a legend that had grown beyond mere folklore into something all too real. Old Man Takeda listened intently, nodding as Akira poured out his heart. A tale you encountered is not just a story, he began slowly, each word laced with gravity. Kuchisake Onna represents societal ideals of beauty, and the pain that ensues when those ideals are distorted. Yuki leaned forward, her curiosity piqued despite lingering fear. But why does she seek validation? Why does she ask if she is beautiful? A sigh escaped the old man's lips as he recalled tales passed down through generations, the tragic origin woven into this mythos. He explained how Kuchisake Onna had once been admired for her beauty. However, jealousy consumed those around her, twisting love into hatred. A moment of cruelty. Her life was stolen away, leaving behind only a vengeful spirit burdened by sorrow. Her question is both plea and curse. Old Man Takeda continued. He seeks affirmation, but also reflects our own struggles to find worth beyond appearances. His gaze shifted to meet theirs with intensity. Confront her is not merely to challenge terror, but also to embrace compassion. Akira's heart raced as realization dawned upon him the journey ahead would require more than courage, demanded empathy and understanding for both himself and Kuchisake Onna. Show her kindness, Yuki said softly, her voice steadying as newfound resolve filled their hearts. Perhaps if we acknowledge her pain, we can help break this cycle. Old Man Takeda smiled knowingly. It was evident they grasped what lay ahead, a path fraught with challenges, yet illuminated by hope forged from shared experiences, rather than judgment clouding perceptions born from fear. With their purpose firmly established under the watchful guidance of history, etched deep within every shadow lingering nearby, they prepared to return once more where darkness met light, at that sacred shrine, which bore witness centuries long forgotten. As night unfurled its velvety embrace over the land, once more the trio departed together alongside whispers echoing between branches, swaying softly underneath starlit skies, promising clarity amidst chaos, intertwining truths. hidden beneath layers so intricately woven, ready finally to embrace whatever awaited them within realms shaped by beauty mingled intimately alongside horror.